What's going on? And welcome to Vince Bracy on Air. In this edition, I had a conversation with my guy, the very talented Travis Michael. We talked about moves that he's made in his career, collaborations on Stationhead, and also new music to come. Enjoy the interview.
Nicks in the back, I've been holding by the week. She said, oh, you rich, boy, talk me throw the dick. Got a pot of style every time a nigga speak. Bigger than the mail when I'm whipping through the streets. Nothing's really been about the reach. Had to try to force and I throw some D's on that bitch. Then I throw some D's on that bitch. Had to try to force and I throw some D's.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about no bitch, I cut them off. Smoking on that gas, gripping ass up in the loft.
Travis Michael, what's good, bro?
Yo, man, what's good with you?
What's happening? Happy to have you in here this morning. Shout out to TC Media. Travis Michael, very happy to have you in here this morning, man. Obviously, we have heard newer music from you than that song, but I had to let the people know. You know what I'm saying? Everybody hasn't had a chance to hear that Bigger Than the Mayor remix from you featuring Rich Boy. So first off, how are you doing, man? Tell us what's going on in your world.
Man, I'm good right now. I got some things I'm working on. You know, I started a new job at SpaceX, and transitioning out the military and everything. So I have more time to deal with stuff that I really want to deal with and everything, and I'm able to get myself back to the roots of it with the music. So
That's good.
I'm in a good spot right now.
I don't even know. Do we want to learn about SpaceX? What does SpaceX consist of?
A fiber optic technician for them. So I deal with their Starlink program, where they basically have integrated through the space shuttles. And right now we're in our planning phase because of the quarantine and everything. So we don't want to contaminate any of the fuselages that they have created already.
There you go. So Travis Michael, not only a dope artist, not only a man serving his country, but he's also a rocket scientist, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Vince Bracy on it. Goddamn is right. Now, not a very, very, very dope. I figured you was doing something super, super crazy that I wouldn't be able to understand. But how has this whole thing been for you? Like, I've spoken to you a few times since the quarantine has started. But how is this whole thing affecting your military life? I should say.
Honestly, I'm enjoying it. Like, so I got like 5 months left before my contract's done. So it's just giving me more time to figure out what I want to do, once I get out and become a civilian again.
That's when you know he
my
for
command.
When you say civilian.
Yeah, my command actually gave me authorization to actually work a regular job to help me transition easier. So that way there won't be like a lapse in, how my living is basically when I'm out. Because a lot of people don't get prepared for that. And I know a plug, like, where I talk about, like, the needs of veterans and everything. But, like, it's a lot of veterans out there that didn't get a chance like that to man actually looked out for them and tried to give them time while they were still making some money and giving them a chance to actually be able to make more and do something so that way they'll be like on solid ground when they get out.
Right. No, that's good. That's very I mean, it's smart, and it's a good thing that people are looking forward to pushing veterans towards that. Because, I guess I'm from New York. I don't know how it is about everywhere else in the world, but a good portion of people that you see on the street are usually saying or claiming to be veterans at some point, or you already know, they don't always receive the best health benefits all the time, or they may be, promised stuff that they don't get. So I'm curious to know how do you, or if you even do plan on pushing a veteran narrative in your music at any point.
I don't really plan on doing, but I do plan on, like, speaking more on those matters in a different platform.
Mm.
because there's a lot of things that I've seen throughout my time that I feel that should be addressed, things that people should notice and should be more aware of with it. Because, like you said, like with a lot of the homeless concern and stuff like that, well, like a lot of these people are veterans, like true, but um, a lot of the reason why that ends up happening, from what I've seen, because I've been through a lot of these appointments and meetings and stuff now as of late. Because when you're transitioning out of the military, they make you go to these things so that way you understand what you're getting into. In a sense, it's kind of like they're trying to scare you to continue to stay in.
Okay.
But at
Okay.
the same time, it's like,
It's
if
still the
you're still
government
willing
at the end of the
to
day.
push forward, yeah. Yeah, if you're still willing to push forward and, you're like, I'm done, I don't want to serve anymore.
Mm.
Or like, I'm tired. Like, they still have things that they can help you with. They give you enough time to where they're able to, like, get your foot in the door somewhere. Like, they help you with resume building,
That's good.
um, job searching. There's even things that, like, at most units stations where they'll have guys, like, that come through and actually help these transitioning service members figure out how to get housing and stuff like that, and be able to reap the benefits that they've earned through their service the right way. Because, like, there we have, like for us, we have like a VA loan that we can use to apply towards a house or whatever.
Mm.
And and it's a certain getting that done and all this other stuff. And like the VA has all these different benefits that we can utilize. And a lot of veterans, a lot of the older veterans, that have been around, like in the earlier wars and stuff like that, like they've learned that stuff through time, and they've actually used it, like, um, around a lot of military towns or whatever. A lot of the older, senior citizens and stuff served, like, decades back and everything, that have learned through time about, like, their pharmaceutical benefits and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
But
go for it.
there's a lot more veterans that are out there that don't know of these things because either pride, or they just don't have anyone that's really, showing them the way to it, or even letting them know that it's there.
There you go.
And that's something that I want to do. I
You
want to be
gotta
able
you
to
gotta make
make more of
awareness.
my peers more aware of that.
That's
So
good. That's good because I feel like a lot of people, especially young guys going into any type of the military or anything like that, I feel like everybody's not aware of how to be able to keep yourself moving, how to be able to keep your family moving after what I'm saying your time is done, or even during, like you said, trying to find a new job and stuff like that. So I think it's really good that they let you do that. So my question, and I'm sure a lot of the people always want to know. Again, I'm very, very grateful to be able to, what I'm saying, talk to this guy right here, Travis Michael, who, again, we met through Stationhead just by seeing that his music was super dope and playing his stuff. So I need to know, how do you go from being in the army to being on a song with Rich Boy, man? How does this happen?
you know what? My little army money, that kind of helped out a little bit, and honestly, it helped with talking to him, because so basically I went through. I was talking to one of my boys one day, and I was making a beat for Bigger Than the Mayor,
Mm.
and as I was working on the beat, I finished it up and everything, or what I thought was finished, and I was like, "Yo, it's missing something," and I'm like, "I want to sample someone." Like, because it has like a down south feel and everything. And it made me think about body pushing the caddies around, and got the 24s and shit and everything that's rolling, and I was like, who I think would be best for this. I'm gonna see if I can throw some D's on here. And so, like, I chopped up the sample from the hook,
Mm.
threw it in, uh, and then I actually freestyled the hook for it myself after I threw that sample in. And I freestyled like 3 different times because I didn't like how I went with it and
Uh-huh.
everything. And then after the third time, I was like, all right, boom, this is what I'm gonna do with it. And then I I ended up like DMing him because I follow him on IG, and I DM'd him, and then I got his manager's info from his thing, and I called his manager, and I'm like, hey, look, I want to see if I can get this sample cleared
Ah,
for this song I'm working on and everything. And then he was like, all right, I'll talk to Rich and see what he can do. What sample is it? I'm like, throw some D's.
of course.
He's like, hey, boy. He was like, hey, boy. He told me, he was like, hey, boy, you lucky. We just got the masters on that not too long ago. So,
Wow. It all worked out.
yeah. So he he's like, I'm gonna talk to Rich, and I'll let you know what you can do and everything. So that was the end of the conversation for that day. Next morning, he calls me. I think like 4 or 5 hour difference. So he calls me this morning, like it's early for me, and he's like, yeah, Rich said he likes the song, the sample, how you threw it in there and everything, and he was like, so what's about this bigger than the mayor junk that you
Let's
got
get it.
going on?
Let's
He's
get
like,
it.
yeah, and I was like, well, I was like, I'm a fan of Rich Boy. I'm a fan of a lot of the Dirty South like rappers and everything. Like me being from the South,
Mm.
even though I don't sound like it, my mannerisms are completely different. Um, I grew up on a lot of that stuff, and then that's what I was explaining to him. I was saying like, look, like I know a lot of people don't know about the Bigger Than the Mayor mixtape that he dropped, before he started to actually blow up and everything. Like
Uh-huh.
only those people that knew about him pushing that tape physically and had copies of it, or just word of mouth spread,
Did you have one
like
in hand?
as he was like blossoming and everything. No, but I do have a copy. It's at my mom's house.
Hey,
Um,
that's dope.
so I told him all that during the next conversation and everything, and he was like, "Bruh," he's like, "Hold on 1 second." And so he he puts me on hold. He comes back to the phone. Rich is next to him, and he puts me on speaker, and then he has me tell the story again.
Hey, okay.
And then as soon as I get to the part where I start talking about the mixtape and everything, Rich is like, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Look, he's like, I fuck with it, but he's like, I need to FaceTime you because the way this hook sound, I'm trying to make sure that you're not Drake trying to steal something from me on the
That's
low.
funny as shit.
Like word word for
Oh Lord.
or whatever. But like I was getting ready to head to work. I'm in uniform and everything. And
Oh
then I'm
wow.
like, but I couldn't turn down a FaceTime at the moment
Yeah, yeah.
from him. So I was like, all right, boom. So he like literally he takes his manager phone, FaceTimes me. I answer, and he's like, now spit the hook again. And
Yeah.
so,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
and then I do the hook for him, and he's like, all right, that's you. Okay, cool. And then he's like, I really like the vibe on this
He
one
said
for real.
because if
He's
it
like,
was
I'll do
Drake,
it.
I'd have had to charge you a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, yo, if it was Drake, I'd have hit him over the head. But he's like, and he was like, obviously, he's like, you in the military. He's like, I don't know how much y'all make, but I don't think your budget, is there for it right now. And I'm like, to be honest, I'm like, nah, it's not. But I'm like, look, and this is an argument. Well, not argument, but this is a point that like I bring up to any artist that I've been able to sample,
Mm.
which a lot of my music coming early on, like has samples from a lot of things, and I have like email traffic or some sort of like physical traffic of me having these interactions with these artists or the management because of the fact that I can't just like straight up buy out licensing right now, stuff
Absolutely.
like that. So I have to like have these agreement terms and I have to meet their conditions and then still be able to survive at the end of the day and put out a song that I really want to put out.
Right.
And I explained that to him while we were on FaceTime. And so he ended up only doing the feature, for a really discounted price compared to what he would normally do for people. And he got it back to me in 48 hours,
Ooh.
which was the terms of the contract. And then honestly, at that point, like there was something that happened after that 48-hour time frame that made me delay getting the song because I was going to put it out way earlier.
Mm.
And I had like a family issue that I had to take care of,
Right.
so money went towards that. So I couldn't actually get the full amount for the feature price to him at that moment. Like I
Absolutely
did
got
the
to take
half up front,
care of
and then the
family
other half,
business.
I was like, all right, boom, I got to take care of this. It kind of delayed it, so it was like the song was done for like about 2 3 months before I actually got it back.
Okay. Wow.
Like before the whole transaction was complete and everything. And like I yeah, the family issue. I ended up going with my unit. They were talking about deploying us again, all this other stuff. Like this got in the way, and I was like, man, this is taking me further and further away from getting this song done.
Jeez.
And just being able to do what I need to do with it.
But you stayed persistent,
And
and it happened.
yeah, and it worked out in the end because they canceled our deployment mission, and then I came back from the field or whatever that we were training to go out, and then family issue was solved. Money started getting more in the comfort space at that point, and then I was like, all right, boom, I could do this now and not have to worry about things. And then got back with the management, and then when I talked to his manager was like, yeah, I sent this over to this guy Ron Hoops. He's a video director, like video producer and everything, and he's a guy who was in the video with Boosie playing "Bigger Than the Mayor" in the background.
Okay.
So he sent the song over to him, and he was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "The dude really enjoys this shit like a lot. Like
That's
he's
good.
like, he put it on his phone, and he's like, the song isn't even officially out. I don't know when you're gonna put it out, but he has a copy of it. He's like, I hope that wasn't a problem, but he's really enjoying this song, and he wants to do a video for it." And I was like, all right, I don't know in this moment here because I'm like, I'm not even sure when I'm gonna put this track out. And then he's like, well, I gave Ron your number, so he should be calling you in about 15 minutes, but I got to go. Bye. And he hangs up on me.
Hey,
And
show
then
business,
Ron
baby.
calls, and yeah, Ron calls me, and then we're talking for a bit. And then once he asked me that, I'm like, yeah, I'm from Florida, Pensacola. And he's like, bro, you sound like Drake, right? I'm like, come on, dog. And then we
That's my
get
next
past that
topic
little bit
too.
right there. We get past that. We laugh at it and
Mm.
everything, and then we just go. We go into talking about the song or whatever, and he's like, yeah, like I played it for a couple people. He's like, I'm about to go do this shoot for Boosie, in a little bit, and I'm gonna bring it up to him, see what he wants, like if he would really fuck with you on like the beats or want to do a song with you and everything. And I didn't think much of it. I was just like thinking he's like blowing smoke or whatever. I was like, all right, cool. Do what you do with it. I'm like, I'll put it out eventually. And that was the end of it. We hadn't talked for like, we would like text each other here and there, like because he's just making sure I was still on board for like the video and everything.
Mm.
But other than that, like we wouldn't like. And he hits me up and he's like, "Yo, I got something I got to send you." And I'm like, "All right, cool." So he sends me that video over, and then it's him actually talking to Boosie about the track and everything. And
Yes.
yeah, and I was just like, all right, I'm amazed by it. So like I'm sitting here running frantic through the house with my roommates and everything. I'm like, hey, nigga, my shit, this guy played for Boosie during his video shoot. Like,
That's a
nigga
moment right
interrupted his
there.
video shoot. I was like, video shoot to play my song, bro. Like, you know how crazy that is?
That's a moment
I'm like,
right
I gotta
there.
post this.
So props to that. So and also you guys can see that on his Instagram page at Future Rock Boy on Instagram. Boosie listening to the song, right? So yeah.
Yeah,
So
like
thank you,
not.
for sharing that story with us, man. That's super super dope. And looking forward to seeing, what I'm saying, when Boosie wanna have, what I'm saying, when Boosie wanna have some Travis Michael features and stuff like that. So that is a big thing. The thing that stands out the most, I guess, is it was the proverbial elephant in the room at one point. I Even before we had become closer, I when I would hear your music, I'd be like, "Yo, this guy is the station head Drake, man. Like this this guy is so dope. Yo, how you not?" And then he wouldn't stop putting out music. So because I do listen to a lot of Travis Michael music now, obviously, I hear your mannerisms, I hear different cadences and stuff that you do. I could tell. I could tell how you modulate your voice and stuff like that. But I want to know how you feel about the comparisons. We've talked about this before, but comparisons, even from bigger artists that couldn't tell at first. Rich Boy had to call you on Facetime to make sure.
So that was like it made me realize, I feel like that's gonna be life with music now,
Mm.
because if more established artists are gonna think that way, then I feel like everybody's just gonna have that little
Yeah,
comparison factor. But like, there's plenty of people that get compared to other artists. It's always been that way.
absolutely. Even bigger artists.
But yeah, like it's always been that way. As far as like being compared to Drake, I don't know exactly where people pinpointed at. I mean, like, 'cause I don't try to like sound like him or anything like that. Like, I know some people think like I'm like trying to mirror his sound or his delivery and things of that nature. And I've heard, like, I've actually had people talk to me when they listen to my music for the first time. They're like, "Yo, man, like, it sounds like Drake. Like, you're copying his sound or whatever." And I'm like, "All right, I'll take that with a grain of salt because we'll
Mm.
go further into my catalog." And they're like, "Oh, well, never mind. You weren't. That's just how you sound."
You got to listen to
And then like
more.
they grow from it. Like, they'll listen to a song like, say, like Tesla Talk or something like
Mm.
that, or they hear me being me on it as opposed to me sounding like I'm someone else.
Right. I was
And
gonna
then
say
they're like,
Tesla
"All
Talk
right,
don't sound like
yeah,
a Drake song at all.
yeah,
So that's
yeah."
good. So you
So
use that
like,
as fuel. I hope to continue to push you to do more things.
yeah, definitely.
That's good, man. That's good. So again, I want to speak about Stationhead and shout out to Articulate in the building because we have a lot of artists on Stationhead. We have a lot of people. I mean, this is what we use it for. Again, this is how we formed our relationship through just a love of music and you sharing your music. And like I said, I
Hmm.
everybody I play it for is like, yo, this shit right here. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that, and I appreciate your work ethic. So I want to know what if you could speak about like what Stationhead has done for you. If you could speak on like I don't know if it's the streams or the relationships or just how much you like the app, whatever it is. I just need you to talk about your relationship with Stationhead because I feel like a lot of people discover you through that as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. When I first came to the app, I was just running through like how things worked on it, and then once I figured it out, I just started like dropping my song off. As soon as I found out I could request a
There you
song
go.
on there, and Travis Michael, here's a song, bye, and then I just kept going, you know. I was literally the first week I would literally go in, drop a song off, go to another station, and then like once I went down the entire line, I would come back to the start
Mm,
and then see what they thought about it, got their opinion, and just kept going
there you
each
go.
station, and just building those relationships because of like there's a few artists that I've noticed that come in, especially now that like or like and they might be busy or something, or they might just not really care. It doesn't like I don't know which one it is, but they'll drop something off and then like, hey, look, I want to see what you think about my song, and they don't ever get to hear that
That's
opinion
right.
because they're
That's
not
right.
around.
I call it the station head
And
hustle. It works. It works for some people, but I always encourage
yeah,
like if you're gonna just drop off your song and leave, like I tell people, and that was a big part of like what when I started my show, what I was doing, and it's how I would form relationships with artists. I'm not gonna play your song unless you're still in the room. Like if you, you know what I'm saying. If you're gonna
yeah,
request and
exactly.
then dip out, like then what are we playing this for? Just so we can hear it? Like thanks, but I want you to stay around. I want you to be involved in the show. And at that point, when
Hmm.
I was first starting, I wanted to start interviewing people, so that's how we got to chat for the first time. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that you took that on. And anybody wants to, I'm coining the term station head hustle. If anybody wants to steal that, by the way. But yeah,
But
man.
yeah, I'm sorry, but other than that, I'll say like station head, like just being able to interact with a lot of these, like a lot of artists that I was able to like created, possibilities. For
Yes.
example, like I wouldn't have
Yes.
found, I don't think I would have found a group with the caliber that I did outside of it
Hmm.
as quickly. Like I'm pretty like there's plenty of guys out there like that I feel are on that level, or whatever. But like it would have taken like for the amount of features that I got on it as quickly as I was able to put it together,
Yeah.
it would have taken twice as long, three times as long, like just like normally. and especially because like each one of these guys that I worked with are nowhere near me. Like
Yeah.
Dogs in Baltimore, O'Hara's and you know, 8 Mile, you know, freaking Ray. I don't even honestly like like these guys are just all across the country, and we've all been able to reach out to each other because of this platform, and because of this, we were able to get to know each other a little bit more during that process. Like building that album was crazy for me
Dopest thing
because
ever, man.
I ended up learning a lot more about these guys on a personal level because of the fact that we met through Stationhead and we were like fans of each other's music. And, just whenever that idea sparked, I went through and I was like, I want to get with these guys and see what they think about this idea right here. And then I created that group chat and I was like, all right, boom, take it or leave it. This is what it is.
A
Like,
whole album came out of a group chat, man. It's so real, yo. It's so real.
yeah.
So shout out
And then
to.
plus,
Go-
no, I was gonna say, and then now there's a lot of other artists that want to do something like that too, like that have hit me up from Stationhead. They were like, "Yo, I want to be on like your next collaborative project or whatever because of the way this was orchestrated and all this stuff." And I'm like, it's cool. Like, if I get around to doing another one of those, I'll definitely, I'll definitely consider it. And the group chat went from just, 7 guys with only like 5 of them actually being on it, and 2 just like basically like being there, just being there for like promotional purposes.
yeah.
And it's now like over 20 people in it, and we talk normally, and we're just like like we'll check on each other routinely and all this stuff, and aware of when the next person is dropping or whenever something's happening. People will like be like, hey, look, I got a feature I want you to be on, all this stuff, and everyone's gotten like a greater bond from that. And it was based off of just the initial interaction that we had from Stationhead. So I recommend it to anybody who's trying to come up on it.
That's dope, man. Yeah, you gotta recommend Stationhead, man. It's. I keep telling people it's the dopest community I've ever been a part of. And you helped me decide. I was trying to decide which song I wanted to play to finish out the interview. I had 12 and 12 loaded up. You guys still have a chance to bite that song. That's Travis Michael's most recent joint. But the most recent music that you've heard from him, again, we talked about the Stationhead collaborations, not just the Possibilities album. I need you guys to all go check that out, by the way. Possibilities with a bunch of artists from Stationhead that some of you guys might have heard of. Like he mentioned, O'Hara. My guy Call Me Ray is on there. You might even hear my voice on there. P2 Radio's voice is on there. But yeah, man, definitely check that out. But I want to get into this. I want to get into this wave by They Call Me Dog because I enjoyed that. But I want to know what is coming next from Travis Michael. Can we speak about it? Can we talk about what are these people going to be able to get from you soon?
Um, I do have an album in the works right now,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as the timeline on that, it's to be determined because
Got to respect the art.
more heavyweight features on it,
Yeah.
things of that nature. Like I'm trying to extend my reach as far as I can get it. So it's gonna take more time. Like I'm gonna actually put more of a but it is gonna be different from everything I've done prior to.
Okay.
And I've actually been able to sit down and start processing. Like, so I do have every beat that I'm gonna use for the album already done.
That's good. Wow, that is real good.
Yeah, like every beat just created straight from me, all done. But now I'm just like, but as far as like the songs that are done for it, I have 3, that are ready to go. But I want to end up doing. I want to say from last time I talked to someone about it, I was between the number. I was like between 18 and 20 tracks.
Okay.
There's something that, yeah,
It's a
something with a
hefty
little
album
more,
right there.
to it. Yeah, something with a little more to it. Cause like I'm usually dropping anywhere between like what 3 to like 11 tracks normally,
Mhm.
and I want to be able to do something a little bit more. So I don't have a name for it yet, which those details will come when they come.
It's all in the works.
Yeah, but everything's it's just a slow process right now. But other than that, once the quarantine's lifted, I will start filming the Bigger Than the Mayor
That's
video.
all we need, man. That's all we need for the
So,
people out there. I'm looking forward to that. Last question. I always ask people that I've had on the show, because you are somebody that works like super, super hard, even outside of music. You know what I'm saying? You've mentioned about how you could freestyle, you sit down and you record. Everybody's been locked in their rooms. You make your own beats. You're already working on the next album that is not due yet. But I need to know if you have any advice for any up and coming artists that might, you know what I'm saying, that might just be sitting around with, I don't know, the Tully app or something like that, just trying to figure out, yo, what am I about to do with this? Where am I going to take this?
all I would say is just learn your resources and use them properly. Like, if like it doesn't take much for anyone to sit down and record these days,
Right.
and just learning what you have at your disposal and making the best of it wherever it is. Like, it could be just your phone and you recording on your phone on your voice recorder every day. Like, fucking work that shit. Do what you got to do. Throw a beat on the background and, level it out to where you can hear your vocals over it. And then, eventually you can go run that track to somebody if you got the money for it to get it actually recorded and everything properly. But whatever resource you have, if you have as much passion for it as you believe you do, utilize that resource to its fullest. And everything else will come to it, eventually. And don't be afraid to, reach out and ask somebody if they can help or they can do something, because there's a lot of people that have more experience in certain areas.
Damn right.
Or, they're like, and also don't be afraid of hearing no with your journey with music. Like, when I was DMing artists and their management trying to get features for stuff like that, I got no so many times because they're like, who the hell is this nigga right here, man? And like, who the fuck's this guy coming up here trying to get me to do a song for him? And for the people that did actually listen, or they read my messages and everything, or my emails, and they're like, I give you a chance. Let me hear what you're talking about. And then I got a little bit deep. You're gonna find that person. You're gonna find someone who's gonna be willing to take that chance on you. You just got to sit there and just utilize what you have at your disposal, like I said. And when you hear no, don't take that no as if it's the end all be all for that. Like, there's always something else.
Damn right, man. Yo, I appreciate all this right here, man. And we got some gems on the end of the interview too. Travis Michael, I thank you so much, man, for being a part of the show, man. Obviously, I look at you as a brother now at this point, you know what I'm saying? I'm proud to say, when I can brag about you, to call you my artist. You know what I'm saying? This guy is one of the most hardworking dudes in the industry, I would say, and just looking forward to seeing what else you got coming for us, man.
Oh, man.
Now, at this time, like I said, throw up the flames. Throw up the flames in the chat for my guy, Travis Michael. Appreciate you. I'm glad everybody, Nova Blessed is saying that 12 and 12 is a big slap. It's a big slap. Big slap is a good word. I'm going to play some of this for you guys right now, and then we're going to get into They Call Me Dog. The name of the song is Wave, because we talked about the Stationhead connection and how Travis and other artists have been able to meet each other through Stationhead and be able to form relationships and also create some music. So Travis Michael, thank you once again, bro. Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Let's get it. So I want to continue this joint right here. Let's get into some 12 and 12. Just a little bit. I'm gonna give you a taste of this. Just a taste. Thank you again for listening to Vince Bracy on Air. You can catch my show every Tuesday at 12 noon to 2 p.m. on Stationhead. As always, I'm sending you out with peace, positivity. Remember to get to the bag and always follow your dreams.
Hey, look, boys can't handle a beast. First I attach to a beat. I christen the bridges when you boys try to start on my piece. Wisest decision you'll ever make will be working with me. Hard on my sleeve, so all this shit hit me personally. Don't let me digress. Still stew over shit that I haven't tried yet. Apply the pressure to niggas that hit their line set. Can't rest on niggas not close to reaching my prime yet. Feels good when you show the work. I had scuffles with teams that put the money first. I had niggas pick my top like they squad great. Type of shit that would've put me back on high alert. Still I came with a closure, I'm the loneliest floater. Niggas think they shit on point till I came with a poster. Table set up for the brunch and a couple mimosas. Flashing lights made me feel all the overexposure. Not the type that would brag in the league, but I'm still savage on beats. 12 and 12 with the drops, that's an average to beat. Overwriting till I feel that the chapter is reached. Go all caps when I speak. Niggas here before they see me coming. Canceled all assumptions, made a rocky summer. Boys follow when they creep till I go Dolph Lundgren. Then I top the summit. I got bobbers in the back that might sledge you niggas if you think you cool running. All I wanted was a chance to stack the blue honey.